What up, world? What up, me? This is Drewize. Come at like this. Drewize Topics. This morning, YouTube. I want to talk about my mother because it's Mother's Day. And I talk about my mother all the time to who and whoever. If I bring her up, you know what I'm saying? I talk about my mother all the time. You know? I talk about my mother every day. You know, I talk to her every day, but I talk about her every day in a good way, you know? And Mother's Day should be recognized every day, you know? My mother, a beautiful black brown skinned woman with long hair, you know? Long hair. Not no sew-in and not no wig, not no track. No. My mother is natural with self, you know? And that's where I get my long hair from, you know? My long hair. But my mother's hair is longer than mine, you know? Okay. My mother was young. She was young when she had me, you know? Young, 17 years old when she had me. And when a teenager like that, you know, didn't realize or didn't even think about the consequences of laying down and having sex, you know what I'm saying? Not think about the consequences and you got to take care of this so-called life. That life that's growing inside you, that was me, that was in there. You got to take care of it. And it was a back burner and a hinder, you know? A hinder. When you make babies at a teenage age, it's a setback, and it's no reward, and it's a hinder. Back burner. Okay, my mom she owned up to that. You know, she owned it up. You know? She didn't do no Brenda, you know what I'm saying, Brenda got a baby. She didn't do that when she walked down some alley and found a dumpster, put the baby in. My mother didn't do that, you know? No. True enough, my grandfather stepped in because she was living with my grandparents. You know, she was living with them up in Cleveland, Ohio. You know? So, my grandfather told my mother, I'm going to put this child, my grandson, my the fourth oldest grandchild on my insurance. My insurance. Yeah. So he put me on his insurance just in case something happened to me. It pays for it. You know? I appreciate about that too. My mother, she raised me. You know what I'm saying? She raised me. She raised me and my other two siblings. You know? She raised us on her own. She was the main full-time caregiver and caretaker. Full-time. You know? If anyone try to say otherwise, as far as family, friends of the family, whatever, I would be gladly and tell you the truth. That what you saying when she was not that, you are a liar. I tell you the truth, you know what I'm saying, boldly, and will not hold back or sugarcoat. I tell you the truth, you know. My mother, you know, she did what she had to do, you know what I'm saying. She worked 2 jobs, you know what I'm saying. She either had one job here and one job there, you know, whatever. She was going to school, you know what I'm saying. And she was working, you know. My mother, you know what I'm saying, did a good job as far as raising me, you know what I'm saying, because my mother never ever raised her sons to act like thugs and act like a behavior of niggas. My mama said, I'm not raising my sons this way. I'm not raising my sons this way. I don't think so. You know, you so-called other black mamas can raise your child that way to be thugs and act like a behavior of niggas if you want to, but my mother didn't do it. My mother did not do it. She pleaded the fifth. She said, I denounced that. I rebuked that. You know what I'm saying? Yes. True enough, we lived in little ghettos up in Cleveland, the slums of Cleveland, for a short season, whatever. True enough, when my mother moved from Cleveland and moved to Columbus, we stayed there for like a year and a half or something, 90, 98, 99, in Columbus. Then moved here to the suburbs of Akron, Stowe or Cuyahoga Falls and stuff like that, in the suburbs. And we stayed in a little area in Cuyahoga Falls, which was a ghetto complex, called Honey Locust, So we stayed there for a little bit. My mom moved in from that, And she got somewhere, she got her a house, in the Heights. In Akron, in the Heights, because the Heights is cool, She got that place, My mom, she did a good job as far as raising us, A good job raising me, my brother, and my sister, For real. Even though sometimes I think in my mind that I failed her because I had children that I was not supposed to have at an early age. I had children before my time, Before my time, That's what I think I failed her at, She might not think about it, or it doesn't bother her. It might bother her at the time, But she might not, she don't care about it no more. But me as her child, I feel like I failed her, Having children that I was not supposed to have at an early age, Before my time, This is me. So I look at it like this. I love my mother. I do. I love my mother. And I look like this. I will honor her and respect her, throughout my days here on the earth. Throughout my days. And when my mother, God forbid, but it's going to happen. When my mother passes on, I still remember her. I'll still remember her in my heart, and remember her in my mind and stuff combined. And still honor her, respect her, even when she's gone, still. My mother taught me the name of the I am. That is Jehovah. She taught me the name Jehovah. Even though we got different beliefs in Jehovah, But I shall not hate her for that. I should not forsake her for that. I should not have no animosity towards her for that, or no anger towards her for that, And when it comes down to argument between beliefs in Jehovah and stuff like that, I walk away. And I don't even get in that with my mom. But that's it, But my mother, she was a good woman. She's a good woman, She'd been married before. She had 3 kids by one man. 3 kids by one man. And she was once married. She wasn't married to my father when I came about, But when my brother and sister came about, she got married to him, And then my sister came about in the world, they got divorced, The thing is, I celebrate Mother's Day every single day. I'm appreciative of my mother. My mother is she's 40. She's going on 46 this month, I'm 28 years old, I'm 28. That's like a 17-year difference, Because of the timing she had when she, got, pregnant, and she gave birth to me into this world, that which is a transgression law, that is sin. It's transgression, brought me into this world, you know. The timing, you know what I'm saying, 17-year difference. My mom was going on 46 and I'm 28, you know. So, I mean, I love my mom. I love my mom, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, if I said that my mom took care of me, she raised me, and she was the full-time caregiver and caretaker and head over me and my other two siblings, and some so-called family member on both sides says otherwise, or a friend of the family say otherwise, I gladly tell you how I feel, a piece of my mind, and tell you you are wrong, and I'm gonna let you know the truth. Not gonna hold back, and you will be quiet, and you will be silent yourself, because you're gonna look stupid, you know. My mother was there, you know. She was there. She watched me grow, you know. She watched me when I walked, you know what I'm saying, when I walked and grabbed a hold of something and stood up, you know. So, my mother was there when I was doing things foolish, you know. Doing things foolish, you know. What child hasn't done nothing foolish, you know? What child hasn't? So, back then, you know, I was hard-headed. Oh, my goodness, I was hard-headed. But I wasn't a child that raised hell at all. I did not raise hell. I did not beat my mother. I did not, you know, I didn't punch my mother. I didn't throw my mother to the ground. Nothing like that. I didn't even fight my mother. No. I didn't do that. And now that I got older, I started to see what she done for me and things like that. You know? And that's why I feel like I'm the prodigal son that returned. You know? Because they say that child that, I'm not saying I raised hell, I know like that. But a child that doesn't, was hard-headed, don't listen, and stuff like that, that's the best child for that parent. When that child grows up, some children grows up and do this, turn around and start coming to the parent and stuff like that, and the parents see the change in the child, you know, how the child think and talk and how he feel and stuff like that. His conduct change. They'll say, this is the best child ever, you know? Think about it. Pastors say that. The pastors say that. They say the child that was the worst is the best one, you know? Is the best one. That's what I feel. I feel like I'm the prodigal son that returned. Yes. So I like to talk about my mother. I love my mother. You know what I'm saying? And I get my beauty from my mother, you know? So that's how I'm going to put it on this topic. You know what I'm saying? Talking about my mother. Her name is Crystal Watkins. You know? She was born up in Cleveland. You know? So, yeah. My mother, she's a humble Christian woman, you know, that goes to her kingdom hall. You know, she goes to her kingdom hall. You know, and I respect that. You know, so I respect that. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not ashamed of it. You know, but just like I said, even though we got different beliefs about Jehovah, you know, but I always love her and I always respect her throughout my days here on the earth. You know, and I am very appreciative and I cherish and things like that. My mother taught me she can't raise me as a man, but she can say, this is how I think a man should come up, you know? So that's that. Drewize Topics. I am Drewize. You know, you could post a comment, you know, about your mother, you know, if you like to, you know. Like, share, subscribe. Peace.